What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com, here with the stalwart peacekeeper, and we are in Mineola, Texas, picking up 5 pallets of beans. 2 pallets of these triple clean pinto beans, 2 pallets of black beans, 1 pallet of lentils, and just suffice it to say, when you buy in bulk, you get a much better price per pound. So we're buying in bulk. Now, not all of this is for us. We're working with several other local MAGs, mutual assistance groups in our area, so that we can distribute this out. But even that gets back to networking. And so I get a lot of questions from a lot of people like, Bear, how do I find beans? They don't have them at Sam's. Go up the food chain. Who supplies Sam's? Well, it turns out this place is called Trinidad Benham, and they supply lots of people. They do rice, they do beans, they do popcorn, they do food service stuff, they do dehydrated and parboiled and all kinds of stuff. And so we made the trip from eastern Oklahoma to northeastern Texas to come down here to do this. It was worth the effort for sure. And we've got our 3500 HD hooked up to the gooseneck, and we'll be getting these 5 pallets of yummy, delicious farts waiting to happen. So it just illustrates that you should definitely be looking for these opportunities. They're out there. It didn't just happen, right? Like we had to go looking for this, but now that we found it, we know where to come. And buying in bulk matters. We've done this with wheat. We've done this with rice. Haven't done this with corn yet, although we may do it with corn as well. But again, having those, I don't need 5 pallets of beans. Praise the Father, I don't need 5 pallets of beans. And coming down here to make the trip worthwhile, we figured, you know, I could put 2 pallets of beans on the back of this truck, no problem. But hey, let's talk to all of our friends or neighbors or loved ones who needs what. And so we came up with 5 pallets of beans. And so you gotta have people, man. And people, an army marches on its stomach, right? So I don't know. I just wanted to illustrate, like, yeah, we really be doing the things. And look, triple clean pinto bean. Mr. Stalwart Peacekeeper, what do you think about all this?
I think this is nice. This is the way to do it.
He's going to Costco and getting them a few sacks at a time, right?
Absolutely.
And when we bucket this up, we will have half a dozen to a dozen people there. And we'll have one person unstacking the stacks of buckets. We get the buckets from Uline. We buy them a pallet at a time. They come 120 on a pallet. So we got 2 pallets of buckets coming. And we got them blue because I like putting beans in blue buckets. I put rice in white buckets. I put wheat in red buckets. I put corn in yellow buckets. And then at a glance, you can go, oh, that's rice because it's in a white bucket.
And blue.
Blue is beans.
Beans.
Red, wheat.
I follow.
Right, yellow, corn. But when we do this, we'll have one person unstacking the buckets, one person sticking Mylars in them, one person, usually it's me that does the blending. We take a big tote, like yay big, and we dump 2 50-pound sacks at a time in there, sprinkle DE, diatomaceous earth, food grade diatomaceous earth on them, and then mix it all around. Take a grain scoop, scoop it into the buckets, then the next slide it to the next person. It's usually Dudley that's handling the 50-pound sacks because he's beast mode, but we all try and give him a break with that too. And then next person will throw an oxygen absorber in there. Next person will seal the Mylar bag. Next person will hammer a lid on it. Then we load them into the truck. Yeah, I seen them coming. So, you know, it's good to have people. Again, an army marches on its stomach. So I just wanted to show you guys it's not all talk. We don't just talk about doing this stuff. Here we are, living it.
It's something else that hopefully shouldn't need to be mentioned, but if you're picking up food this way, they're not going to let you go away without properly securing it.
That's a good point.
So, you know, there's YouTube videos for that, or have someone that knows how to secure a load for transit. Because you don't, last thing you want is to be like, oh, I'm going to be like, there, go buy food by the pallet. And then you get there and they're like, oh, that's nice that you paid for it, but it's a liability for us to let you leave with it.
That's a good point. We also, you know, they deal almost entirely with, and probably entirely with, commercial carriers. So she's like, what company, the lady at the logistics counter, she's like, what company are you with? Me. Who's your driver? Me. Where you going? Yeah, she's like, what's your trailer number? One. Where you going? My house. So again, you might have to work at building that relationship a little bit, but that's okay. And so most people have or know somebody that has a pickup truck and a trailer. Go find pallets of beans. And we'll do videos too when it comes time to bucket all this up for y'all. But, you know, and I guess we'll hit this real quick. 750 pounds per person per year. That's what you need. That's 3,277.18 calories per person per day, which is the recommended amount of food that you need to not lose muscle mass as a military-aged male engaged in strenuous activity. So that's what I prep for, and it works out to 750 pounds. And I split that 4 ways between corn, rice, wheat, and beans, to say nothing of our canned goods, our freeze-dried goods, our fresh goods from the garden, our meat from the fields and from the paddocks, and so forth and so on. So you may not need 5 pallets of beans, and if you don't need 5 pallets of beans, no worries, no problem, that's okay. But if you do, this is a much cheaper, more expedient way to get them than going to Sam's Club, hoping that they've got it in stock and feeling like everybody and their brother's looking at you as you're checking out. So, because they do, you know, they're okay if you buy a few bags. If you got, ask me how I know, 10 bags of rice and 10 bags of beans, they're like, what are you doing? Yeah. So my thing is, we have a ministry and we feed a lot of people. Both of those statements are true. They may not be contextually accurate, but they're true. We have a ministry and we feed a lot of people.
Well, and the time might be swiftly approaching where you're not allowed to.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
It would label you as a hoarder and a danger to the rest of society because you're taking more than your share.
I guess we're going to title this Huge Prepper Haul. Get all the clicks. So that's a very good point. Yeah, at some point the big day may say, no, you're only allowed to get a 20-pound sack at a time. Well, we've seen that with rationing, just with like during storms and stuff. Yeah. You know.
Well, on most in Texas, where I recently was, they in the cities they still have rations on cleaning supplies.
Right.
In the grocery store, you can't buy more than a certain number of XYZ cleaning supply.
Right. But if you drop $100 with the state and form an LLC, now you're a business, and then you can roll up to a place like this. You probably could roll up to a place like this without an LLC. But yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. We did pay for this with an ACH, so that's something to consider as well. You know, bank transfer, wire transfer. So, you know, anyway, just a few tips, tricks, and hints for you. But go do the things, Bear Nation. Here comes our 5th pallet right now. Yep. So it's looking good. I think this is going to be good.
Shalom, folks. Stay
Shalom, y'all.